I am super duper serial.
We are
Nice.
yeah. Word. Pumps. Yeah.
We're here.
Word. So cool. All right, so I'm sitting here with Ace Eca.
Hell
who
yeah.
is- yeah, who is the best rapper I've ever personally known, for sure.
For sure. Me too. I
For
agree with
sure.
that.
But on top of that, actually a good rapper, a good artist that
Much
happens to rap.
appreciated.
I guess 'Cause that's really the thing is you're an artist and you've decided to choose rap as, or that's the one that came naturally to you is
The
writing
best way to
music.
self-express. For sure. Yeah.
And it's cool because you can, as opposed to like painting, you can literally just say what you want to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say hip hop is like the most direct form of music anyway.
I think it probably is
Yeah.
because I mean, well, it depends on who you. Some people I can hear what they're saying when they rap, but I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Right. And
Whereas you pretty much wear it on your sleeve as far as your message in any given song. You know?
hip hop, you get to bring people literally in detail into your mind.
Yeah, they have to be listening though. But I
They
guess
have
that's
to
the
be
case with
listening.
anything. You know, somebody could look at a piece, somebody could look at a painting and say that's dope, but have no idea what the idea is behind it. And one might argue that's enough. You know?
To each their own.
Yeah,
Totally.
for sure, for sure. I mean, I think that's the thing that I've struggled with in describing like what is the meaning of art. Is the person that's consuming your art, are they getting what you were trying to say, or is it just enough that they like it? You know, I guess it depends on the person.
Defining art is hard.
It's real hard, right?
Defining
I've had
art is-
debates with
yeah.
people about what it, and I've changed my mind many times on it. So I always come at it with I think is probably like an ignorant, naive kind of perspective because I don't consider myself an artist. I'm on the periphery of art like constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's like Jackson Pollock, you know, the guy who does like all the dribbly like paintings and shit. Like
Right.
for a long time, I was like, that's not fucking art because I don't know what he's trying to say.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think that's super important, you know.
Even with like mumble rap, I think it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's people like that. That's not rap. That's garbage. What is that?
Well, what is rap, I guess, is another conversation within. I mean, do you have to understand what they're saying for them to fit into the category?
If we're talking about self-expression, I think mumble rap is just
Well, let me throw a wrench in the gears. Do you have to understand what a French rapper is saying if you don't speak French to like his music?
good point.
I don't know.
Good
I don't know.
point, yeah.
We don't have to. We
If
don't
the
have to figure
beat's
this
hot,
out.
if the
but-
beat's hot and the flow's there, you might not really understand what's going on, but you might catch yourself doing one of these.
But
you know?
but with his cadence and his delivery and the beat that he decided to put those words over, even if you don't understand the words, you're gonna get like probably 25% of what he's going for just by the vibe of the whole
Right.
thing. So I guess in that sense, you kind of do have to get some of the message, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, the main reason that we're sitting down is because you just dropped a 6-track EP, I guess you'd call it.
Yep.
I don't know what EP means, extended play, whatever the fuck
EP,
that means.
yeah.
I don't know. It's a 6-track.
It's a
kind of
6-track
mini album thing with a
fucking-
theme. I would call it
yeah.
an album because it is a theme. It's not just like 6 tracks.
It's not. Yeah, it's definitely 6 tracks of a lot.
It is a lot.
Stored. Yeah,
It is a lot.
stored
It's
into.
very-
yeah,
It's heavy. It's
Mhm.
heavy stuff, man.
It's what it's a lot given to you in 19, 20 minutes.
Yeah, because I think what is the longest track is like 320.
right.
Something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So they're pretty short tracks, but they're very concise, and they say, they very clearly say what you're trying to say. Like, I'll tell you that for sure. And I've listened to probably each track 3 or 4 times each, and in order, beginning to end throughout the thing. And looking at the title of the track and listening to the lyrics and even the vibe of it and even the beat that you put it over, I think it all works I'm very impressed, to be honest with you.
Thank
I
you.
am impressed. Because that's always a risky thing when your friend is like, hey, man, I made this thing. Check it out. And you're like, word, good job, dude. But, like, but I'm, like, not blowing smoke up your ass when I say that you're – the crazy thing about this album is that and I don't want to just sit here and kiss your ass too much, but I really do think you're a really, really good rapper. And – I'm just gonna call it an album. This album is not full of bars.
Right.
but the flow is on point, and you have like at least 3 distinct flows that I picked up throughout the 6 tracks, because I think like the Drunk Off Your Love and High Off Your Insecurities, I think those are a pretty similar flow, but the 2 tracks are already coupled together anyway, so whatever.
So yeah, this
I don't want it to come off as a judgment. It's just
no.
observation.
This whole project, from the beginning, this is what I wrote in the 2 to 3 weeks following this breakup.
Yeah.
So this is like the real raw emotions. So it's not a lot of production. There's not a lot of.
That's funny because one of my notes very specifically says great production.
Well, what I mean by
could just
that
me
is
not
like
know
there wasn't much like
you didn't sit down in the studio and just like
Right.
hash over it, listen to it.
It's not like I was sitting there with people like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Yeah,
You know?
bringing in 10 people. Yeah.
Right. This was literally what I wrote, and it was venting. This is 6 tracks of venting.
It's catharsis. It's
Yeah.
you just letting your feelings out in their purest form to now have them in a thing, and now you can I say, putting in a way that now you can move on with your life.
Exactly.
You know?
It's a way to just cap a moment and just put it in the vault.
Yeah. Put it in the vault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's literally
The problem with that, though, is it's really good. So you're the only one that's putting it in the vault. The rest of us are out here banging it.
Yeah, no. And this is the first time I've written and recorded a project, and it was like wildfire. I mean, like bang.
It just
bang,
came out.
Bang, bang. It was like there wasn't too much thought of like, usually I'll write a verse and I'll sit on it, and I'm like, okay, well, I like this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, this bar is funny. There was none of that.
And I have to say, now that you describe it that way, it makes a lot of sense because, like I said, it's not full of bars. And, excuse me, not for nothing, I'm sure you have some really clever, witty bars in like your go hard tracks, but you can like they're so smart, some of the lines, that it for sure took you like a couple minutes or a couple pass throughs to come up with it. Like, I don't mean any offense by that,
No,
but like,
yeah.
it's stuff that you're like, I want to make I have this idea, I want to make it work, but that it's the fact that it's not full of bars, but your flow is still, because the flow is a thing that it's called flow for a reason. It flows. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because I know when a lot of people lay down vocals over a track, they're just hemming and you know what I mean? And then they go back and they put the words in that fit the vibe that they got when they heard it. You know what I mean? But you can tell that this is like really raw, just like, like obviously you know how to like rhyme.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just emotion. You nailed what you were going for sure. So you dropped this like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah, this was.
It was in June, right?
It was in June. June 7th.
So a month then, yeah, about a month ago.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact
Whatever,
date,
it was
but
about a month ago.
It was about a month
6
ago.
months after.
About yeah.
Yeah. So was that? Did you kind of like drop it like right when you were kind of done with it, or were you kind of planning the 6 month thing, or?
No, this was an up and down journey for this project.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this was written, recorded, mixed. Well, not mixed. It was written and recorded in the 3 weeks following. So this was all done January 17th. This project was written and recorded and sent out to be mixed and mastered.
Now, can I just say as a side note, well, it's not really a side note, but if that's the thing that you do when your life is upside down and this is the product of it, you are for sure, that's definitely your go-to, that's your thing. That's your thing. If you're going through some crazy shit in your life and you go through your creative outlet and you produce something and it's this good, you're for sure doing the right thing with your time and the way that you handle your shit. Like, that's a sign, and I hope you see that.
I do now more than ever.
Yeah.
Like I said, this was a bumpy ride.
I'm sure.
This was a bumpy ride to release
I can tell
this
by listening to it.
because this was okay. So the first song I wrote was "Drunk Off Your Love."
Okay.
The main song, with
Which the
video.
hook is fire, by the way.
Thank you. The first half of that song, the first verse and 3/4 of the second verse and the chorus, was written as a love song. before the breakup.
I'm gonna bust my notes out because I actually have actual good notes for these. Because that's one of the things I wrote down was that like when I started taking notes as I'm hearing stuff, and so the notes I have when I first started listening to it, I wrote falling in love, being inspired, and being drunk on it, and then I wrote great hook, great melody, but then the third thing I wrote is withdrawals, and like feeling the lack of that, feeling what that's like when it goes away. Like you know, you're. I don't want to speak for you too much, but what I got from it was like, you get fucked up off of like when you fall in love with somebody, and it like messes with you, and then that can go on for a long time, and then when it's gone, you're like, what do I even do with that energy now? You know.
I think that's everyone.
Yeah.
I think that's what love is. You know, I don't think it's like. It's not something you just put a stamp on. Like so much time passes, you love stamped official now. It's
not that simple.
It's just this overwhelming ball of energy.
By the way, can we just officially plug this thing? It's called Love Alwayz. You can find it on Spotify. Is the whole thing on YouTube?
You can find it on YouTube. It's on my website.
I'm sorry. SoundCloud. Is it on Spotify?
SoundCloud. It's not on Spotify.
Okay.
SoundCloud. Ace Eca 247.com.
And we'll post links to all this stuff
yes. Too. It's available for free streaming. Drunk Off Your Love, you could find the official music video on my website as well.
Which is a cool video too. You guys nailed the vibe with that.
That video came out perfect.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Perfect.
It's good, yeah. And I actually I saw the documentary up on YouTube, and I got like 5 seconds in, and you were like, yeah, when you started describing the New Year's Eve song, and I'm like, I'm not even going to watch this because I don't want to like watch this documentary and then not have any questions for you. So
right, so you didn't get far in the documentary. You mean?
I watched you. I literally just saw you going, yeah, when I wrote New Year's Eve, that was exactly how I felt on New Year's Eve. And I'm like, I don't want to.
Perfect. So this is going to be great. This is going to be great then because you don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, so do you want to just kind of go track by track?
Yeah, for sure.
So the first track is called New Year's Eve. And
yes.
You guys broke up, what, 6 days before New Year's Eve or something?
Yeah, it was actually a few days before Christmas.
Yeah, so that would make it like 6, 7, 8, whatever,
something like that.
Handful of days before New Year's Eve. So you're very raw and in the holiday season.
And what
the feels are real.
yeah. And what New Year's Eve represents was my exact train of thought sitting there watching the ball drop. I sat there at my brother's house. Waiting for the ball to drop, and I kept thinking in my head like, damn, you gotta hit 2018 running.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's shitty.
Mm-hmm.
It's shitty.
Mm-hmm.
But stop living the way you're living. Stop thinking about it. Stop everything. And that's why I wanted it to be the first song you hear, because everything I'm about to say, all this crazy like emotional shit, I want you to know first that I'm getting over that.
Right. But you still got to feel all this stuff. You still have to move through it. You still have to grieve the relationship.
Right. That's why I'm going to be a long way from hard knocks. Missionary, I ain't stopping until I'm on top. And it's just that is the most confident track.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. And there's touches of confidence throughout the rest of the tracks, but then it's immediate you follow it up but damn. You know what I mean? Like, I totally get that vibe, dude. I totally get that vibe.
And that's why it's called Love Alwayz, because it's like life goes on. Life goes on, whatever. I'm not the kind of person who lives with any type of hatred, anger in my heart. I don't do it.
Yeah.
I learn to let things go, even if it's like the hardest thing to do. And it's kind of just like a have a nice life.
Yeah, right.
I'm good.
Yeah.
But you're going to hear my side.
Right.
Everybody's going to hear my side.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man. I think greeting card love is a problem. You know, I think it creates this illusion for what people think love is supposed to be. I think what it really comes down to is that, you know, we all have these needs as a person, and by default, due to our family, people we grew up with, certain needs are met by those people, and then we have sexual needs also. And I don't want to downplay love, because I can be like a very romantic person and stuff
Right.
like that, but I think that the fact that we have sexual needs confuses a lot of these other needs and wraps them up into that. And I think that because that's such a strong urge that we have to have sex with somebody, or to make love, really, which is another thing, but you know what I mean, it causes all these needs to get wrapped up in each other, and you can start like laying them on to a person over time, or resenting them for not taking on those needs or something like that, you know. But all that else aside, as soon as that person's just out of your life suddenly, you
It's
still
that.
have those same needs.
I think
you know?
something I learned along the way is how close romantic relationships and friendships can be. It's just a different version of love.
Yeah.
In a romantic relationship, you're with someone mentally and physically,
Right.
emotionally.
Right. Well, that's the thing.
And-
It's like, I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to like the way our culture is structured, where like when someone is around you while you're both naked and your skin is touching each other, like you're so vulnerable, you know what I mean? So
Right.
like you let that person into your psyche and into you as a person in a certain way that causes you to be like intertwined.
Right.
To be,
Because you get to see any type of front, any type of image I put on
yeah,
for you.
you get behind it.
You've obliterated that.
Yeah,
you get to
right,
see
right.
me like you said, in your purest
Yeah.
form.
And a lot of people don't even ever allow another person to do that, which is tragic. But the consequence of allowing another person in like that is that it's fucking dangerous. You know, it's very risky, and we all take that risk all the time, you know, falling in love and stuff. And then when shit hits the fan.
And that's what I mean, like
Yeah.
in romantic relationships, and even really good friendships can be just as tragic when you lose a really good friend.
Absolutely, man.
Because it's that bond, it's that love where and people don't look at it as the same because it's not treated the same.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah.
You know, and basically, like, if you have a longtime friend, your best friend, and this is something I went through, you eventually get to a point in your life where, you know, he meets a girl, he gets married,
Yeah.
and you go through this process of like,
Hey man, I haven't
like,
seen you in
yo,
2 weeks.
what's
like,
wrong with the good old days? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, what we used to chill and party,
And you want to take it personally.
yeah,
like,
and you're like, yo, like, why would you choose this person over me? And you don't start thinking of it like, this is just how life works.
Yeah, it is, and it's tragic. It is
Yeah.
because I think what probably happens is that it's like, if you and I are best friends, you fill a lot of these needs that I have as a
Yeah.
person, but then somebody who shows up takes care of 9 of those 10 needs, plus we fucking. I don't know. Can you blame me, dude?
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Right, it's like that, but that's how life works.
Yeah.
And like, what I mean is like, especially friendships. Like friendships, what a friend is, it's just good vibes rubbing off each other. You know, you like if we're best friends because we click.
Yeah.
You know,
And sometimes it's in a very intangible way, because I have really good friends that I straight up cannot have a serious conversation with.
right?
And I have friends that I only have serious conversations with. You know what I mean? And there's all that whole spectrum. So sometimes it's not so simple as like, I can tell you why we click. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, yo, I can go to this dude and we can talk about anything, and he always gives me good advice. And this other dude's just like, every time together, I'm cramped up laughing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's all about like just having some sort of connection, and then somebody just happens to walk in that's fine as hell and does all that same shit, and your boys are like, yo, what about us?
Yeah. I think life, in a nutshell, is all about chasing natural highs.
Hell yeah, man. So the second track Well, we went over that a little bit, Drunk Off Your Love, but
Right.
I mean, can we kind of talk about them as a pair? I mean, I don't fill me in on the main differences between these two songs, because track 2 is Drunk Off Your Love, track 3 is High Off Your Insecurities, and explain to me in your what's different about them. To you.
Okay, so yeah, Drunk Off Your Love, the first half of it was originally written as a love song.
Right, you said that,
it was supposed
right.
to be a love song, and it obviously didn't pan out that way.
Right.
So that was the start of the whole project. The start of the whole project was like me sitting there at work one day, and I'm sitting on half of this song that I think is a really good song.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Mike Keslack from 41st Casanova, the director of the video.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I wrote this song. And I was just kind of, I vented to him for maybe an hour or two. Just this is like right when it happened. And he was like, why don't you finish the song? I'm like, how do I finish the song? How am I going to do that?
How do I finish it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this song is like this is a love song. How am I going to finish it now? And he was like, finish it. So I thought about it, and I ended up going back to it. That's why if you listen to the lyrics, it kind of goes from this, it's kind of this self-recognition, like, yes, I'm aware of my flaws. I'm going to do better. And then it turns into this, like, I should have done better.
Yeah.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. And Drunk Off Your Love became this
Becomes
like,
a reflective kind of...
right,
Yeah.
it becomes this ball of emotion. Like, now that it's gone, I'm like, what am I going to do? And
How do I get that high now? Or the whatever.
how am I going to get over this?
Yeah.
That's why the song is as deep as it is. And it says the things that it says. Because I remember writing it, I was like, just be as deep and as real and as emotional as you can, because this is your chance. And then I feel like High Off Your Insecurities is the complete opposite. It gets to show you the other side.
Yeah, because now, if I'm remembering correctly, a lot of the lyrics are like, I did all this for you, I was there for you, I showed you love, and you didn't even know how to show it back to me, stuff like that.
Right. High Off
But
Your
even that you can get high off of. Even being that rock for somebody can
And-
give you a type of security with yourself and with the situation that can become super dangerous.
High Off Your Insecurities kind of goes deep into our the inner demons of the relationship and a lot of her negative traits, and me saying, like, Drunk Off Your Love is like, I need you, baby, I need you, baby, you know? And High Off Your Insecurities is like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
This is like some crazy game for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I need to do the right thing here and just let it be. And that's why when I finished Drunk Off Your Love, I was thinking, like, yo, wouldn't it be cool if I made like a 5-track little EP, just kind of capping all this shit, like just talking about different things.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, fuck that. Just get over it. But there's certain things you just feel.
Yeah.
You just feel certain things.
Sure.
So I ended up doing it. So that's why New Year's Eve, the getting over process, Drunk Off Your Love, the literally just pouring your shit out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then High Off Your Insecurities, which is like the other side. Like, yes, you got the vulnerable Nick right now.
Yeah.
The I need you, baby. You know, the
Yeah,
singing
yeah,
on the chorus.
Yeah.
Here I
Like
am.
some real R&B, like...
Yeah, like we're gonna
guy
shoot the
without
video.
you, like-
We're gonna paint the picture in the video. The chick's gonna be on a date with a new guy. I'm gonna show up, perform the song of a lifetime. She's gonna get super emotional, and I'm gonna walk the fuck
Walk
out.
right past her.
And that's gonna be a dope video.
Yeah.
And then I got to just paint or build around that. Great. It was very, very therapeutic.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Very therapeutic.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because more recently you've just been like throwing out bangers,
Yeah.
which are dope,
Yeah.
and I fucking love them. And by the way, I'm potentially doing a music project soon on some sort of podcast thing about some of my favorite songs, and I was thinking about doing your song "Love." So
Yeah, man. That sounds good.
At the very least, we're gonna do another one of these about that, maybe just about that song. Okay, so after How Off Your Insecurities is Decisions.
Yes.
And that's an angry song. Am I correct?
Yeah, that is probably the most, I'm trying to choose my words carefully.
Yeah, you're good, man.
The most controlled rage you get out of me on the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why, thank you. The reason why Decisions is my favorite song on that is because I get to paint the complete picture.
Mm-hmm.
The first and second verse, everything I'm rapping is just what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Like word for word, almost. Like I remember, like that was one of those songs where it was like bang, bang, bang. I took what she said and made it rhyme.
Yeah, it's a crazy song.
You know?
Because I related a lot to that song because I'm going through something right now where there were certain points where I had to transmute my despair into anger to be able to take action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can sit around and feel sorry for yourself and take no action for fucking years. For years.
For fucking years.
But when you get angry, something's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was really the vibe I got from that, where it was like, yes, you're writing this when it's already said and done, but I could tell that you were really capturing that essence of just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you fucking serious? Like, after all the shit that I like, what? Do you not listen? Like, yeah, dude, I got all that, dude. I totally relate.
Like the Love Always in a nutshell is like, nah, you know what? I'm gonna get over this shit. But I mean, like, damn, yo, I love that. I love her. Like, that's crazy. But you know what? She's kind of crazy. I mean, she does some things. And you know what? Here's the story of how it's done. But you know what? Here's some closure. I'm going to be good. You do you. I'm going to do me. Oh, wait. Let me throw this bonus track in and just be real for a second.
Yeah.
And it's just that like, that you feel.
Yeah.
When you're breaking up.
It's like a manic frustration sometimes.
Yeah.
Are we going to have this conversation again? Okay, fine.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I think that was probably the one I related to the most because I feel like just being frustrated is such a powerful thing sometimes, you know.
Controlled rage.
Definitely controlled rage. Uncontrolled rage.
Uncontrolled rage, there ain't no 6-track EP.
Yeah, no, it's very bad.
Uncontrolled rage,
smashing everything in the room.
Yeah.
And going and finding where the fuck she's staying at. Yeah.
Ain't no I Need You Baby is something different. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and then, of course, immediately following that is Closure.
Closure. Okay. Decisions. I said this in the documentary. Decisions is my favorite song because it probably means the most because I got to talk about. I got to literally just say what she said.
Yeah.
But Closure is that, like, remember when I listened to Closure? Now, mind you, Closure was supposed to be it. That was supposed to be the last track. And I heard the beat, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I was like, Closure? I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to fuck this beat up.
Do I have my tracks out of order?
No.
Okay.
There's Closure, and then there's that bonus track I threw at the end.
Okay. Which we haven't talked about yet.
Which we have not.
Okay, cool. Because when you
which has actually never even been discussed. It was not even in the documentary that I discussed that. Exclusive.
Word, I didn't even know that.
We're going to talk about it,
Word.
though.
All right, so anyway, Closure.
I needed to cap it. I needed to just, like, you know, I've gone in the ups and downs.
I thought you were about to start rapping for a second, the way you just said, I needed to cap it. And then I was going to rap it. Like, I thought the way you said that, I was like...
This is what I wanted. Now we're going to get like a 20-minute freestyle. No, yeah, Closure was just me being very, very honest.
Just putting a bow on the whole project. And
I was honest with the whole thing, but this was like, I just need to kind of send it off in a way that's like, there's no way you could listen to Love Always and be like, oh, he's kind of a dick.
Right.
You can't even be like, she's kind of a dick.
No.
You know?
It's just you are who you are, and things played out the way they played out.
Any logical person can listen to that and be like,
any logical person can listen to this set of tracks and tell that your heart was fucking shattered, first of all. So I don't know that there's any way that you could take away from that you're a dick. Unless you just said some wild shit, which you definitely don't.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, that's definitely the vibe that you get, that you just shit went down and you felt everything, and closure was your way of just kind of
Closure was just a way to write out and just be like, look.
Anybody listening, like, check it out. We're good. It's all good.
Yeah,
There's no hate, you know.
It's not like, yo, no aggression, no bitterness, no hard feelings. This is life. This is how life works. Sometimes things just don't work out. Some things could have been done differently in a way better manner.
Take it as a lesson.
All hearsay. At this point, I hope you find happiness, even though it ain't with me. Mm-hmm. And the rest. Yep. Send it off.
Yeah. Yeah, I for sure got the post, everything. Like it felt very much like that for sure. That you're just like, you know what, it's all good. Good luck with everything. Probably don't ever want to talk to you again, but it is what it is.
A much better approach than rappers have taken in the past.
Definitely.
Shows the growth of hip hop.
Yeah, people get,
in my opinion,
people get real messy in hip hop sometimes.
Yeah, people get very messy.
Real messy. But I have to admit, the audio recordings is a little messy. That's a little messy.
That was,
But it sets the tone perfectly. It sets the tone perfectly because you can hear a lot in those recordings. You can hear a lot. There's a lot of between the lines stuff. There's a lot of between the lines going on there.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I was wondering if people were going to pick up on that stuff.
Well, I am very astute, so I don't want to speak further. But I for sure was like, well, the whole thing is like, if you take it in as a piece of art, you're like, okay, well, obviously these recordings are in here for a reason. It's probably the girl that all these songs are about. And she sounds like she's supporting him most of the time, but she hesitates a lot and pauses, and that I don't know. It's done very well. I definitely picked up on what that was there for.
What we did was a few years ago we shot a documentary, to which obviously she was a part of, and we had her. I had the director send me the full audio recording from that documentary, which is about 10 minutes long. So I sat there for hours in my studio listening to everything she said and hand-picking.
Which has got to be kind of painful.
And when, like you said, you picked up on these things, this hesitation and these things.
Yeah.
And when I was hearing them, like when I was realizing this hesitation as I was lining them up, the whole time I'm like, motherfucker, it was right in front of me the whole fucking goddamn time.
But you were drunk.
But when you fucking love someone, it's always different when you love somebody.
Metaphorically, I'm saying, yeah.
It's always different when you love somebody, and that's why the bonus song came about.
Yeah, which is Change.
Change wasn't supposed to happen. Out 5 tracks. I was happy as shit with it. I was supposed to cap it, put it out.
Yeah, you know what, Nick? Change wasn't supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to happen. Anyway, continue.
But it did.
But it did.
Yeah. So, Change came about. I had a conversation with a coworker one day, Steph, and she was telling me.
By the way, one of the notes I have is crazy flow.
Over that piano? Give me some. Give me some. That's what I was talking about.
I wrote that down real quick. I'm like, crazy flow. Don't forget to mention that.
When I heard that piano beat, I was like, oh my God, we need a bonus track. Your boy's about to go off.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm having this conversation with my coworker, and she's talking about, I think it was her sister or something, was in a very toxic relationship And no matter, she was telling me all the things that her boyfriend would do to her, and she would still stay with him. And she was just saying, like, I don't know why she's so stupid. Why can't she leave him? And this is like right when I'm dealing with my. So I'm like, you have to realize it's always different when you love someone. And as soon as I said that, I was like, that's a fucking chorus. So then, boom, the chorus came to me. I shot home. I'm listening to different beats. I hear that piano, and I'm like, oh, man. So I'm happy. Like, Love Always, those 5 songs are is the most controlled rage, most mature way you can make an album about a breakup without choosing one side, even your own side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really don't even choose your own side.
Right, yeah. So there's like, but I feel like, okay, we're going to do a bonus track. And I'm about to let loose. For 1 second, I'm going to be like, yo, seriously, what the fuck is up? Mm-hmm. You don't do that. Mm-hmm. You don't do that to somebody, you know?
That's the vibe I got from that song was like, how much after the rest of these songs was that song written?
Not long after. Like I said, everything was capped by the 17th.
Including the bonus track?
Including the bonus track.
Oh, okay. But I mean, I got the vibe that you had already done a lot of like, maybe not like, you definitely done a lot of healing by then, but I got the vibe that you were very clear about everything. Like in retrospect, you were just like, I see everything perfectly clearly now, and I know who I am, and using, you know, it just felt very like I don't want to say analytical, but it was just like just breaking it down, like you know what I'm trying to say.
Don't quote me on that. I would have to recheck because I remember looking at it was either that one or Closure in my notebook, and I dated them. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing January 17th. I'm not sure if it was Closure or if it was Change though. But even if Change was not written much longer after the 17th.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Change just came about at the point where I was like, this EP has everything except like, I always say like there's like 2 sides to me. Mm-hmm. There's like that very conscious side that wants to understand everything. Mm-hmm. Even when the worst things happen, even to me, I try to understand, like if you do something real crazy towards me, I try to understand why you would do that. And then there's like this, what I call like the dirty water side of me. Where I'm like, yo,
like,
homie, don't play.
Homie,
don't play. Yeah.
A word? Okay.
So I feel like we got 5 tracks of this consciousness.
Yeah.
And then there's that like that last track of like, hang on, let me give you some Ace Eca shit real quick. Mm-hmm. Let me be real quick.
Well, you know what? That's I feel like that's a good way to put it, because like I feel like the other 5 tracks are Nick. You know what I mean?
Right. And that was the point in Drunk Off Your Love in the video at the end where it's like, give it up for my man Nick.
Yeah,
LaForm.
when you get up there and you take your hat off and throw it down on the chair.
That's significant. I'm glad you caught that too.
You up there. I actually didn't put that together till right in this moment. But like, yeah, you take your hat off and you throw it down.
The whole point.
No, this is me right now. And then
there was this 5 tracks where I get to give people Nick. I get to give you Nick LaForm, and I get to show you who I am behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And then there was that 6th track where I got to kind of snap back into my alter ego and just kind of
do it.
Yeah. And that's why as soon as I heard that piano, I'm like, I'm going to let loose.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm going to let loose. This flow is going to be off the chain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it was the perfect. It was the 5, you could listen to those 5 songs and be like, oh, that's super conscious. Like, that's really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that 6th song, and be like, he's still unapproachable.
Like, wait, what?
He's still unapproachable.
Yeah, right.
So don't fucking call my phone. Don't do nothing. Ace Eca is still, you know what I mean? I'm still coming. Yeah. So.
Yeah, word. So what's next?
What's
working on?
Next is what was supposed to happen already. I'm working on Ask Me When I'm Sober, which is a video I released last October, which was supposed to lead into a new project called Ask Me When I'm Sober. And that was just going to be a regular album that I totally got thrown off, sidetracked with. So I'm back now. I did a little studio renovation, got some new equipment, and I'm getting back to work now.
Word.
So now it's different though, because I have to admit, after all of this, I feel like a different person.
As you should.
As
Not
you
a different person, but changed from it.
Changed.
And you got to let
Rebuilt.
stuff change you, man. You got to let stuff change.
Yeah. I'm totally okay with chasing the natural high. Whatever I'm into.
Yeah. Whatever
I'm feeling, I'm
Just
going for
don't get
it.
lost in the sauce, man.
Don't get lost in the sauce, man. Even when I had no money, I still had sauce. That's one of those things that makes no sense but makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah. In the right context, you know exactly what the fuck that phrase means.
You look at it and be like, damn, what? And then sometimes you'd be like, no doubt, I got some sauce.
Yeah.
Boy got
I'm
some
not going to
sauce.
get lost in it.
I'm not going to get lost in that. How you supposed to have seasoning when you ain't been seasoned? No, I'm excited to get back to work, man. I have a ton of shit written.
I'm sure you do.
I have so much written that I'm kind of like, ask me when I'm sober is my goal, but it doesn't. A lot of what I have written doesn't fit. I have songs for that, and I have very much more conscious material that is not fitting the bill for Ask Me When I'm Sober. So
Mixtape. Oh,
yeah.
My bad, dude. These hops, it gets in my throat.
Yeah,
but I'm sure you'll find something to do with those other tracks.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm coming.
Word. Excellent. Well, I think it's a good point to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Looking into the future a little bit, and obviously we're gonna do it again for sure.
For sure, man.
Because I want to talk about some of your other music, some of the hard hitting shit.
Yeah.
And or just do it again as bros.
Yeah, we'll talk about different things. I'm all for it, man.
Word. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks for
Ace
having me,
Eca.
brother.
Ace Eca. Thank you. And check out Love Always on SoundCloud, YouTube, or
SoundCloud,
some of it's on
YouTube. You can find the video,
There'll be links
the
down
official
below.
video for Drunk Off Your Love, and don't forget aceca247.com. You can get all of that shit. So
Word.
check it out.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.